Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. I changed the lighting a little bit this time. I didn't really change it. I just moved it closer. I noticed when I watch back these videos, sometimes they look really red. It looks a little red to me right now. I'm not sure what's causing that because it doesn't happen on my normal videos. So it has something to do with this software. Anyway, I'll have to continue to look into that. Nice to see you, Joe. Brewed your first all grain yesterday, blonde ale, which is kind of what we're drinking today. What system do you have? What are you brewing on? I'm curious. I'm always interested to see, you know, every brewing system is different, brews differently. Anyway, so if you haven't been to this live stream before, what I try to do is grab a beer that is not super easy to find, but is findable. So I mean, what I mean is like, for the most part, you're not going to find this beer in your local grocery store, but it should be pretty widely available in our country, at least here, in like bottle shops, Total Wines. You know, I was thinking about this earlier. It's weird that every state is different when it comes to the sale of beer and how they sell it. Like, for example, here where I live, we sell most of our beer in the grocery store or bottle shops. And our liquor stores are really just for spirits. Some of them do have beer, but it's usually either not refrigerated or it's like, you know, American macro beers. It's nothing exciting. But there are a lot of places in this country I know that have liquor stores that sell all kinds of beer, and people go to the liquor store to get beer. So it's weird. And then there's some places where you can buy liquor in the grocery store, which you can't do here. So it's very weird to me that across the country, there's like no standard. But anyway, today's beer is a Westmalle Extra. These bottles always come with this funny little ring around it. I think it's just for aesthetics. I had to really look at it closely to see. It literally is just stamped with the word Trappist. So it is an interesting bottle, but anyway, it does signify, like, you know, you're getting in a Westmalle if you get this particular bottle. So this is a golden blonde Trappist ale. It's 4.8%, so it's pretty low ABV. It was released in 2021 to the public. But it was made longer than that. So I'll get to that in a second. Originally, it was created for monks. And then in 2021, they released it to the rest of us. Joe, VWAR system. Okay, I've seen those. What's interesting is Clawhammer has an all-in-one system now that they are selling that is clearly the VWAR system, except they've made some modifications to it. For example, I know they moved the pump to the outside of the systems that you can access it more easily and swap it out if you needed to. I forget what else. They've made a couple of modifications to it, but for all intents and purposes, it is the VWAR system. And when I was looking at that VWAR system, it looks like it's pretty similar. The way it brews is very similar to like the Brazilla like 4 and the Grainfather, sort of the way it has its brewing set up. Anyway, A little bit of history of this. I'll start opening this, but like I was saying, this was initially offered to the public much later than it was actually created. So this was, Westmalle began brewing in 1836, this brewery. So 1836, I think that's right. I could be off. I think that's right, though. Maybe that's, yeah. Anyway, they started brewing this beer for their own, for themselves. They brewed this for meals. And one of the reasons is when you think about it, 1836, water was not that clean back then, and they didn't have the same kind of sanitation available that we have today. And so one of the easy ways to make sure you're getting clean water and you're not getting sick is that a lot of times people would drink table beers or like low beers where it was just a very low alcohol, even lower than this alcohol. Actually, this is what, 4.8. I mean, you can get lower than that as long as there's some alcohol in it. It helps ensure that what you're drinking is clean and it's not going to get you sick. This is a beer that descends directly from the early monastery beer. So they took the beer that they would drink every day with their meals and whatnot, and they finally decided to sell it to the public starting in 2021. What else? Early years, Trappist monk. So the early years for this Westmalle. So Westmalle is kind of special as well. It's one of the original Trappist breweries. The monks that founded it were fleeing France during the French Revolution, and they fled and settled in Westmalle, hence the name of the brewery, in 1794. And that began their sort of monastery life in a small farm in Belgium. So after that, they kind of built up and they got bigger. And they moved on from becoming like what was called a priory to becoming an abbey. And then shortly after that, they got this official stamp. If you ever see these, there's not many. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Probably not. I don't even know if I can aim it right. But there's a stamp on them that says that it's an official Trappist product. And there's only a few of them out there. So it's kind of special. They are historically significant, this brewery. It is the birthplace of two different Belgian style beers, the Duppel and the Tripel. Sorry while I pour this. So I am pouring this in a Westmalle glass. I don't know if I should pour. I'm just going to pour all of it. Oh, that's interesting. You might not have seen it on camera, but there was yeast in the bottom of this bottle. So it's definitely bottle conditioned. Anyway, we'll give that a second. By the way, not a huge head on this, like a pinky head, and it was clear until the yeast poured into it. And then it got a little cloudy. Anyway, Westmalle is known as the birthplace. The Duppel first produced in 1856, and the Tripel, which was developed later, and now it's copied globally for that particular style. We already know this, but I'll repeat it, that the whole purpose of brewing beer in an abbey is not to make money. In fact, I believe they're not really allowed to make money or make a profit. They have to basically use what money they have to sustain their lives, their lifestyle in the abbey. They do some community work, that sort of thing. And so it helps fund the charitable activities, but they aren't really supposed to make enough to make a huge profit. The definition, by the way, of this label, on the back, that says that it's an official Trappist beer, is that it is brewed within abbey halls. So it has to be brewed in an abbey under monastery supervision. And again, all the profits have to support the monastery and their charitable work. Smells, well, let's look at the color first. A little yellow, golden blonde. Like I said, it was clear when I first started to pour it. It's pretty highly carbonated by the looks of it, which is expected from a Belgian. they tend to kind of consume and be pretty dry, these beers. Thick, creamy head. Well, it was a thick head for a moment. I wouldn't say great head retention, though. I mean, look, it's already dissipated. It didn't stick around very long. Aroma. This has got a sweet aroma, some fruity notes. I definitely can smell lemon, like citrus. Not like super bright lemon, more like lemongrass or whatever, you know. I do smell the Belgian character. I don't know how to explain it, but some Belgian yeasts have a certain smell and flavor. Obviously, we all know about the banana esters and the cloves that you get from the yeast, but this doesn't really have that. It just does. It does have that sort of Belgian smell to it. I don't know how to explain that, but if you drank one, you know what I mean. What else can I say about this beer? Well, let's taste it. I want to taste it. I have to take another sip here in a second. I will tell you that I probably will never use this glass again. It'll just go on my shelf for fun. I had to use it, though, because it's a Westmalle glass, and I thought, what the heck? It's the worst possible glass that I can think of for a beer. Like, it's huge, wide mouth, so any aroma is just going to dissipate. You're not really getting a good whiff off of this thing because it's not funneling the aroma up. I will say it's a super thick glass, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's kind of heavy. And it has that little stamp, you know, thing, just like the bottle has here in the stem. I will say it's very highly carbonated. It's not, I don't know. The flavor is not great. It's got that Belgian-y taste or smell, and that comes through on the flavor. I'm mostly getting like that lemongrass sort of flavor, but it's very thin, like, to me, this beer. Yeah, I don't know. I can definitely see, though, why this would be a beer that you would consume with meals, because it's not overpowering. It's low ABV. It's not gonna like overpower anything that you're eating. So I can see that. Like, it would be a very good beer for that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's all right. Let me tell you what I've been doing or what's coming up, and then I'll probably cut this one short. I noticed that East Coast Liquor Reviews is live right now as well, and he's doing some beer reviews. I have a beer. So I was bottling earlier today. I bottled up my latest beer, and I think I told you last week that it's a style that you don't want to mix with the rest of your brewery. So, for example, I used a bucket fermenter with a spigot at the bottom to ferment it. And then when I bottled it today, all the equipment I use for bottling will either get tossed out or will be labeled to be only used for that kind of beer. So that narrows it down. I don't want to say what it is, but there's only a few types of beer like that where you have to separate it from the rest of your brewing just to be sure that you don't end up contaminating the rest of your brewery, basically. So I bottled that up. I thought that there was an infection initially. So I went to dry hop it about 4 days ago, and it looked like there was an infection. And so I was kind of disheartened because this is a kind of beer I've never seen someone on YouTube brew. I didn't get the idea myself. Someone I work with gave me this idea. So I'm excited to share it, but I was like, oh man, if it doesn't turn out very good. But when I was talking to him, he said that, well, it might just be like the adjunct that I had to add to it. I don't want to tell you what it is yet, but it may be just that and not it may not be an infection. So when I cold crashed it overnight, it did indeed look like it was just that adjunct. From what I could tell, there was not a pellicle looking sort of thing on it. So either way, I bottled from the bottom of the beer since I had the spigot on the bottom and didn't have to touch anything near the top. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to let that sit in the bottles for 3 weeks, and then we'll see what it tastes like. You can expect a video to come out in about 4 weeks, I think, because I'll still need a week to edit some of it. Anyway, that's what I'm working on there. I am going to, when I sign off from here, I am going to go start getting grain ready. I'm not brewing till next weekend, but I'm going to start getting some of the grain together that I'm going to brew with. And that one's going to be interesting because I'm going to put together 2 of my favorite styles of beer. And I'm going to add an adjunct to it that I think is going to make it really tasty. So that's what I'm up to. I'll be back probably next week with another live stream. I do have a few more beers like this that I can do on these live streams. And then I have to decide whether I want to keep doing them or not. I don't know. It is expensive. The software to run this live stream stuff is not cheap. So anyway, I think I will cut it there, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Cheers.